Hey, it's Steve here at Silk Road Catalyst. Recently, I received a message from one of my colleagues in South Asia. We're having an organizational retreat soon, so he asked me if one of the topics we could discuss would be something along the lines of a discouragement that they were experienced by missionaries. Satan wants to stop every experienced missionary, every potential missionary, and every new missionary from successfully making disciples for Jesus. And one tool in Satan's arsenal is discouragement, and it can be a powerful tool. His goal is that we will give up, do something else, or not get involved at all. Discouragement can be triggered by a variety of sources. For some people, it's comparing themselves to those they deem as more fruitful in ministry. For others, maybe it's loneliness or external factors that cause stress that compound on top of each other in a short amount of time. And let's not forget relationships. We have all been discouraged by other people and have likely been the trigger that led to discouragement in someone else's life. No matter how discouragement is ignited in your life, there are always ways to combat discouragement. Now, there is no magic bullet that will cure discouragement every single time, but I do want to give you 3 tips that I believe can help you in the long term. Tip number 1, make disciples as a team. Jesus sent his disciples out 2 by 2, so don't go and do it alone. It's best to minister alongside at least one other person, whether that's a spouse, a friend, or someone else, let's say someone else in your church. And the reason I say this is that the 2 of you can lift each other up when, the other one is feeling down. The best verse to express what I'm talking about is Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verses 9 through 12. 2 are better than 1 because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. Also, if 2 lie down together, they will keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone? Though one may be overpowered, 2 can defend themselves. A cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. Tip number 2, connect with a local church on the field as soon as you possibly can. Never assume that just because you are a missionary that you don't need them, that you don't need that local church. Granted, some of you may end up in a place where there are no churches, so your team is where you begin. But if there are churches where you can relate with the people in a language you understand, pursue it. My family did when we lived in China, and it made all the difference in our lives, especially in the early stages of living abroad. And here's my final tip for today: abide in Christ. The first 2 tips that I shared are nothing without yoking them together with this tip. Abiding in Christ, meditating on His Word, praying, sitting at the Lord's feet like Mary did when Martha was up being a busybody and then turning around complaining that Mary was doing nothing but sitting at the feet of Jesus, which Jesus said was the better of the 2 things. So abiding in Christ coupled with serving on a team and connecting with a local church on the field where they are available are the beginning steps everyone can take that will help fight discouragement when its ugly head comes knocking. Because eventually it will, no matter how experienced one is at living cross-culturally. Now, before you go, let us know in the comments section how you fight discouragement so others can read what you do. And if you found this video helpful, please share it and check out our other videos on this channel. I'll see you next time.